We are thousands of years of history. We are 60 million stories. We are a community. One nation. Italy. We know how to amaze because we can still be amazed. By a sunny day after a heavy storm. By acts that warm the heart. Or bonds that unite. By challenges we know how to win. Cultivating our roots, we can imagine our future with big ideas and small details. With wise acts and solid values. Smiles and wisdom. It is our soul, our geography, our land, and our sea. Our flavors, our culture. It's our brilliance. It's the way we are. And when we're together, we can do even more. We know how to welcome and impress. Fall in love and make others fall in love. Entertain and teach. Listen and channel energy. Win and move hearts. We're ready to play, but know how to take it seriously. This is the awe. We are the awe. Proud to be Italian.
So it's always good to see this video, and welcome everyone. Today is a very special episode because we'll be everything in English because we are virtually flying to Florida. But before, we need to introduce our guest. We have to tell you how we met them, because this connection happened right in the heart of the US real estate.
That's right, Lisa. We met Venus, who is a top-tier agent in Fort Lauderdale area, all of Broward and the Palm Beach country area in Orlando. In our next, we were waiting for get a photo with the other Venus Williams, the tennis player, and we were literally standing in line at booth, started chatting. So Venus discovered that we were Italian. Then we started chatting. So we became really friends. And there was an immediate professional connection. Expertise in Miami market is truly impressive.
Yeah, and then we have Riccardo Romano. For us, it's a more recent story because he actually came up to introduce himself this year during the NAR Gala dinner in Houston. And Riccardo as well is a real estate agent, both commercial and residential. And at the moment, Riccardo does is involved in short-term rentals, properties, and also foreign investment in the area of Miami-Dade and Broward County as well. So it was amazing to see how proactive and connected the Italo-American communities.
Especially for Riccardo and for all the real estate Italo-American and American realtors we met in the last months. This energy is the key because as September 2025, Alice and I got the CIPS certification. So now we are certified international property specialists. Simply, we are specializing in cross-border real estate transaction. So we help people buying property in the USA, calling Venus, calling Riccardo, and Riccardo and Venus, they called me and Dennis to help their buyers become owners in Italy.
Yeah, this means a lot for us because we really feel like a bridge for Americans looking to buy in Italy and vice versa. Helping Italians who want to invest in maybe Riccardo or Venus area. So we are going to dive deep in not only in the Florida markets, but also in how this profession feels for American realtors. So I'm glad to have you guys today. I know that in Miami, in Florida, sorry, it's morning. So my first question for both of you will be to tell about a little bit about your really first day of being a realtor.
Well, thank you for having me as a guest. I'm very privileged and very honored to be a part of your event first. So thank you for that. I actually have come from quite a long line of realtors that I didn't realize as a little kid. At 10 years old, my father was a Southeast distributor of Domes of America here in South Florida. So we were always like cleaning up the home, and I was like putting things away. We lived in a dome home, so we were literally showing the home at 10 years old. I was showing property and didn't realize it. So kind of started from there. Had some aunts and uncles, and my dad's family also had their real estate license back then. Again, didn't think anything of it, just kind of fell into it when I started in the title industry in 99. And I was like, man, these foreclosure agents, I could do so much better. You know, they make money despite themselves. So I did. I pursued a career in real estate. I got my license, stayed in the title company for about 7 years as I had my licensing, and finally went full time in real estate, and continued in leadership throughout the years with Women's Council of Realtors, worked up that way, as well as Florida Realtors. I stay as a director, and my latest accomplishment in leadership was being appointed in 2024. I got to serve as the president for the Broward Miami Association of Realtors here. One of the biggest boards Miami is the biggest board in the country. So very happy to be able to serve and continue to serve as a leader in that role.
Thank you, Venus.
Thank you.
It's my time.
Riccardo, go.
Oh, okay, my story is starting a different way because it's very funny, because I was from the other side. I started as investor. I'm a lawyer. I'm still a lawyer in Italy, but I'm not practicing there because I decided to move to the United States in 2017. Before that, I started investing in a real estate in Miami. When I came here, I did different jobs, but I always think about the real estate. So I decided to apply to study and get my license. And my first day as a realtor was very shocking because I was introduced by a very close friend to my first brokerage. The broker was a nice guy, and I remember he told me, "Oh, you passed your exam on the first shot. Congratulations. Now you can forget everything that you have studied, because real life is different." And it's absolutely true. Everything is different, so you have to start. The first think, okay, I'm a real estate agent, I'm very happy, I can make a lot of money, but where are the clients? So everything starts from the scratch. So you have to work hard every single day. I mean, I don't want to judge, but it's a job where you have to commit every single moment of your life. You never relax. You never go out for the weekend without thinking you're a real estate agent and you have to grow your farming area to raise clients and everything. And after the shocking moment, I discovered what's very important: training and education. You never stop to study. Mm-hmm. So starting let's say the day 2, the day 3, I realized that, and I got my certification. I am a CIPS, Certified International Property Specialist, ABR, because I have a lot of buyers, RSPS, and last one, Real Estate Negotiation Expert, because they are not just acronyms and a piece of paper for your wall. It's education, and I have to thank my association because the level of their education is very high. You can, if you follow your association, your board, and everything, you can have a very high level of education from them, and you are going to apply in your job day by day. What I'm doing now, yes, as Alicia told to everyone, I'm involved in STR property because I work with investors, and now Miami and Florida there is very high demand for STR property, short-term rental, because the investor, the funny thing, they ask me for a short-term rental because they want to have a property that gives to them an income, but they can keep 1 or 2 weeks for vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Grazie, Riccardo.
Prego. My pleasure.
Thank you, guys. It's good to see how even so far the realtor life it's everywhere the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will talk later a little bit about your local markets, but now we wanna know something about how in the USA, how in Florida, how in your local area, Italian are feel. So both from Venus, that also Alex before told that she has some older relatives in Italy, or with some roots, Italian roots, and also both for Riccardo that came in the US later, of course, and of course Riccardo is Italian. So we want to know a little bit about what really Americans thought about Italian.
Well, I can start for right now. The food is amazing in Italy as opposed to here. So, and I'm a foodie, but I know your food is just, they don't put the stuff they put in our food in America. So I am very envy of your food over there. That's for sure. And I do have a cousin that is also a realtor in California that I got to visit at NAR the year before. And he literally was like, no, my friend brings the ingredients from Italy. He imports them. And he made me, in his uni oven, the pizzas. And I can't tell you how many I had, and we didn't feel the way we feel here in America normally. So kudos to that. But as far as Italy, first off, I took Italian 1, Italian 2 in college because I have a love for Italy. I couldn't really pick it up, so I will continue to try on that avenue. But my roots do come from Italy. I actually was calling family last night just to make sure I knew exactly all the regions for today. And I will say, on both sides of my family, all four of my great-grandparents, I know I can confirm 3 of them, came over from Italy. One of them, we have a photo that was, I believe, is March of 19... where's the photo page? March of 1910, March 30th. My grandfather came from Campania, Italy, which is an area of Naples. And then the other side of that came from Foggia. And then the other side, my mother's side, came from Villalba area. That's in Palermo, a little town in Palermo. As well as the other side came from San Antimo, Naples. So those are the 4 regions that my families are from. I know we did get some baking ideas. I know Napolitans always are known for baking. So we do make the pasticcio. I don't know what it's called over there, if it's the same or similar some in America, they call it an Easter pie. So I do have a funny thing that my father, because we lived in a dome home, and my aunt also lived in a dome home. Well, when she went to sell her home, the last day of her home when we moved out, I said, for 40 years we made a dome-shaped, pastry or whatever we call it, bastage, a dome-shaped pie in a dome-sized home. So that's my fun with the history. But I love Italy. I think it's great. I do have a love for it. I do want to understand the language more. So when I saw your badge at the conference, I was just so envious to be like, wow, I want to be friends with these people. And with everything that's going in the market, Italy definitely is here in our market, but we'll talk about that next. So thank you.
I just take some seconds. In 2022, it was the first time for me and Alice at the NAR NXT. So it's the most important real estate events for members of National Association of Realtors. So in Italy, currently, we are around 200 realtors associated at NAR. Venus was the first American realtor that talked to us while we were waiting for this photo with the other William, the other Venus Williams. So we were very happy about that because she didn't tell that right now, but she has also a second surname, an Italian surname. So in her badge, we saw also this Italian surname, and of course we immediately became friends. So we got a selfie together, and the last selfie we took together was last November, so November 2025. We are next to the Italian flag, and we got this photo in our magazine because I and Alice, we write in our magazine, that's the Specialista Immobiliare di Zona. 8,000 copies are arriving tomorrow. So Venus, you will be very famous in Milan because we are close to us with this Italian flag. So this is very, very funny. I thought it was the destiny. We were chatting with Venus some weeks ago, so it was the destiny. So Venus, and we became friends with a very, very, very interesting person, nice person that is Venus.
Thank you, and I feel the same. And just so you know, yes, the name Proffer, I tease, I go, it's the only good thing I got out of my ex-husband, because you profit with Proffer, and Proffer means to make an offer. But my maiden name, is Baratta, and I tell people, yeah, like the gun Baratta, so don't mess with me. And the family name, some of the family names from over there, my grandmother Venus was also a Venus, was Chivarella, and I understand there's a whole town of Chivarella over in Italy because our family has visited. And then, like, my grandfather was Ignatius, but his father was Vincenzo. So if I was a boy, I was going to be Vincenzo. But I ended up with Venus, and I love it. So can't complain.
Yeah. I think Venus is better than Vincenzo.
Thank you.
Okay, Riccardo, it's your turn.
Okay, should I talk about Italian? How many hours do we have? It's a long story. I have a lot of experience, of course. Mostly my clientele is from Italy right now. I start, and I have a lot of experiences, different kind of experience. Well, I say that Italians are welcome here. So I work a lot with investors that they want to open a new business here. 99% people applied for E2 visa, and this is an important part of my job because I work with the side of an immigration lawyer, and we work together to do a success story. So we have a lot of success stories about people coming from Italy and the classical way life change. People that want to move to the United States, they want to change their life and starting from scratch again. You know how E2 visa works. You have to do an investment, you have to find a business, you have to face with the consulate, and it's part of our job, because if the job is well done from the beginning, the right business, the correct investment, we cannot give legal advices, but we can work with attorneys and do the right job. Another interesting part is I'm helping a lot of Italian students, because there are students that come here for 1-2 years to get the US degree, especially in law. There is a very nice university. It's a Nova University in Florida. It's in Devi. So I think Venus knows very well the university. And they have a joint program with Unitre, the university in Rome. And they do everything by the, let's say, the university side, but they stop when they look for an house. The housing is a problem. So I'm very proud that I help a lot of students finding an house. And let me say that they are still welcome because they have a good reputation. This no problem at all. They just to demonstrate, of course, the income, all the regulation that we have here. And so it's something very satisfying for myself, because helping young Italian makes me very proud. And I see a lot of very young people coming here from Italy with very, very nice skills. And I use your space to give an advice to our Italian friends. Don't do the Italian in USA. So remember, when you come in another country, follow the local regulation and don't ask to yourself why. Sometimes I face with my client, they say, I don't understand this rule. It's not your matter. You don't have to understand. You have just to follow. Because what I say, sometimes I look rude and uneducated because I'm a direct person, I know. But I say, it's not your problem. You don't have to understand, because they are not waiting for you to change their life. This is a big nation. They got everything. They already got the pizza here. If you think that this is your best pizza in the world, okay, but they can live without you. I'm sorry, it could be rude, but it's to avoid to waste time. Because I know there are a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge that is important here too. But you have to follow every single steps that the United States in this case are asking to you. So this is my first advice. Sometimes it's not easy, because you know how Italian are. They think they are the only one that can do something. I come back to myself, because I have the opposite experience, because as you know, I'm a CIPS and I'm selling property for US investor in Italy. I have a lot of interested properties in Tuscany, especially. And let me say that this is very important, because Italy is research and is asked from US investors too. So it's interesting to have connection there, because the CIPS, the international agent, must do this. It could be the agent in US that knows the foreign market. So for me, it's interesting. I'm going to fly tomorrow to Europe because I have property in Portugal too. So this is a very interesting part of my job. I kept the bridge between Europe and the United States doing my job.
Riccardo, Venus, it's very interesting to have this conversation with you because I and Dennis decided to fly to the USA in 2022, for our first NAR NXT in Orlando because we started getting certification and designation in 2015, so 7 years before. But we keep getting designation and certification because we were really interested to learn from the best. You invented the market, you invented marketing, and for us, it's very, very important to cooperate with you, both with you, of course, Venus and Riccardo, and all the other realtors we had met in the events. Also, we know that several Americans are buying and renting in Italy. For example, Elisa, can you explain, please, about the tenants, American tenants that arrived in Milan? It's very, very interesting, Riccardo, because it's the overseas opposite situation.
Yeah, it's the same for us in Milan because usually we help a lot of American guys that are coming to study in our really private university, usually also public, but in Milan we have Bocconi, we have Naba, we have Cattolica, and so yeah, it's funny to see how it's the same for us because we at the moment are mostly working with foreign students in Milan. Also because Milan is getting, of course, more expensive than some years ago. So usually we work with American, but not only Americans, also from Europe, East Europe, especially, or also Indian students for Politecnico. So yeah, it's funny to see how it's always the same as we said before.
And there are several Americans that want to buy in Italy, to retire in Italy. So it's very interesting, and we are, of course, proud of that. So, Edison, let's start to talk about Miami market, okay? So keep on, Alice, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. We have one last question, even if we could go over for hours and hours, but we cannot do that also because Riccardo has a flight tomorrow. And Venus, if you want tell us something, some quick insight for those looking to buy in your area. You were talking with me and Alex before we started the record about some data that are new about a few weeks ago. So we are looking to hear you. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. So first off, you need to know that Florida is #1 in foreign buyers, and that's 17 years in a row. I thought that was pretty amazing. That's 21% of all sales, and 45% of the sales in Florida are in the South Florida market, which is Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. That is our metro area, and that is the latest stats that they are coming to this region. So it's really important for people to know that they're spending the money down here, and that's according to the Florida Realtors Annual Report. I have some stats, so sorry, I'm going to check my little notes. And then 1 in 5 of all U.S. international sales happen in Florida, as we said, and 1 in 2 in the South, in Florida, or in the Miami metro market, which we were saying. So global buyers bought 5,300 properties in South Florida in 2025. That's up from 4,000 in last year. In addition, foreign home buyers purchased $4.4 billion in South Florida, and that is also up from $3.1 billion in 2024. So that's quite a bit of money coming in from our foreign buyers. And I thought you'd like to know where Italy kind of ranks in a little bit of our foreign buyers. The top region that is origin I'm sorry, the top countries of origin that are buying in South Florida, number 1 is Colombia, but Italy is number 6, right behind all of our South American countries. And then if you narrow that down to Miami-Dade, so Riccardo, this is more you in your area. Yeah. You get Italy is number 5, so they're actually creeping up. I can't say you're buying in Broward, but it doesn't mean you won't, because just so you know, a lot of the sales are $3.2 billion in Miami-Dade, but in Broward we're right behind them. We're at $785 million. We're number 2, not right, but we are number 2 as opposed to all the other cities in the South Florida market here, in Florida rather. So that was quite interesting. So if you can't afford Miami, come on up to Broward or maybe even Palm Beach, and we'll help you. We'll help you between us across the board. So those are just some information. And the outlook for 2026, they stated, was single-family sales will rebound and sustain price appreciation. Also, they said high demand from the lower mortgage rates, increased migration flows still from other areas like New York, California, where business and residentials could face higher corporate income taxes, will still drive higher demand here in our area. So we continue to get the influx. And of course, Florida has no state income tax like some of those other states. And of course, our weather. I mean, today it's quite chilly. Riccardo can tell you. I think it was 30-something or 30-something when we woke up, which is just insane. As a Florida native, I didn't sign up for that. But we wear layers here. We don't really own sweaters in our area. We just wear layers of clothes. But love our market, and it's definitely just proving that people are still coming. I mean, and with our market, people are coming, and you need to be able and educated. To your point, Alex, I also have our CRS, which is something I know you and I have in common, which is Certified Residential Specialist designation. I know Riccardo has several designations as well. I have an MRP, Military Relocation Program. I have a lot of family that's in the military, so big appreciation for anyone in our military serving or still has. I've got quite a few on the list. But those designations, along with others that we have, are important. They're important for us. Like you said, education. Riccardo was saying education is number 1. And because we are a part of the largest board, which is the Miami Association of Realtors, we have all that education. And it's spread throughout. So we have a lot of things, and other associations actually come to us for assistance. And we even have Intramatrix, so we even see other states. We can see some of their MLSs, and they can now see ours. It's like, I think we're up to 5 or 6. And we also have the most international agreements, over 260 plus. I think I was there for the signing of 262 last year. But that's really great, international agreements with these other countries. So we love to do business in Italy and vice versa.
Thank you so much, Venus. And I and Elisa can't wait to visit Miami Realtors next November, because next November we will be, I think also you, Riccardo, at the ANA NXT and ANA NXT. And then I and Ellis will fly to Miami to visit you.
Sure.
Venus and Riccardo. We will
be a pleasure.
break the bread together, as you say, spezzeremo il pane assieme. Do you say that, Venus, to break the bread?
Say that again?
Do you say that, break the bread? Break the bread?
Breaking bread, yes. I want to break, that's what I said. We were breaking bread in Houston. I love to break bread with you, absolutely.
Yeah. In Italian, it's spezzare il pane assieme. It's very interesting how you translate it in Italy. Okay, Riccardo, go.
Yes. Okay, very interesting the numbers that Venus gave to us. I can add something new here. Of course, there are the new construction market. Miami is putting on the market a lot of new buildings, of course, luxury and with incredible amenities. And I can move my PC and show outside my window. There are 2 tall buildings growing up in, 13, 14 months from the scratch, from the base. And if you go there, you ask, are you selling? No, I already sold on the paper. Okay, how much? 30 million for the penthouse. So they are, the new construction market is growing very up. The reason is for the investors that are coming here with a lot of amount of money, and they look for something that is new. New means new technology during the construction, so you have to face with hurricane and every natural disasters. You don't have to face with inspection because on the other side we have very old properties on the market, and after the Surfside event where the building collapsed, so everything is going to change here, and new construction are growing very fast, and it's a good investment. It could be expensive at the moment, but if you forecast for a long period, it's not. It's not, because you are going to save money in the next 10 years. And 90% of them are STR, and this is the part that I spoke about at the beginning. Short-term rental could be a very good investment. Of course, you have to go to a specialist, because you have to be sure that the property that you are going to buy is STR approved, because you have to face with the local regulation, with the building regulation, and everything. So at the end, the suggestion is go to the right agent if you want to invest money, because everything looks fine, but you can face problem, and it's better to face it at the beginning than not at the end or during the process.
Yeah, thank you, Riccardo. It's very, very important to choose the right agent to buy in the USA, to buy in France, Thailand, Japan, and so on, and especially in Italy, because in Italy the market is around the 80-85% with the real estate agents, and around the 15% with FSBO, so private owners that they wish to save money, but severe damages are done, because no owners in Italy love due diligence. No owners are accountable. A few of them are accountable. So it's very, very different, the process to buy a property. But one procedure that I think is very interesting is when the companies, the inspection companies, they check the properties. Can you both tell us a few words about that? Because it's so different. In Italy, it doesn't exist. No inspection, okay? We buy the property, no inspection. In the USA, it's very, very, very interesting. And Riccardo, you are Italian. You are from Rome, right? I am right.
Correct.
I'm from
Correct.
Rome.
Correct.
So, especially Rome, it's one of the most famous cities in the world, and it's very ancient. Okay, so Rome and Milan are quite similar, because Milan was founded by Romans, was a colony of Rome, and due diligence is a little bit more important. But Rome, I don't think it's so. It's everyday argument. Okay, please, Venus, can you please tell us a little bit more about the inspection procedure in the USA?
Yes, well, I know you don't know this about me, but ironically, I live with a home inspector for 19 years now. So
yes, we didn't know that, but that's great.
I can elaborate quite a bit. And most realtors, they won't know as much unless you're kind of hearing the conversations constantly. So first off, we live in a subtropical climate down here. So there's only 3 types of homes that we sell. And this is something that I've gotten from him, which is it has had or will have again termites. That's just something that's normal in our homes here. You don't see them, but over many, many years, that is something that is normal, conducive to our subtropical climate. So you would have a home inspector, they will be checking for that. There's a lot of shoddy construction, which is very sad to say. So with Riccardo and myself, it's important to know who are our trusted people. When you're looking to do renovations, you want someone that's reliable and trustworthy. And I'm sure Riccardo has a book of those as well. We don't like to give those people's numbers out, but when we do, it's a reflection of us. So this is why it's important, because a lot of construction in our area is not great. And then even when you think, okay, no problem, it's a new home, not a problem. We literally were reading an article yesterday, and he actually did a video when he did a home inspection in another area a little north of us in the city of Port St. Lucie. But it was a new construction, one of those big builders. I don't know which one, and it doesn't matter. But what happens is there is so busy, the city during like COVID, when we had a lot of construction or where there were a lot of inspections, a lot of buying boom, guess what? The cities allowed the contractors to do their own inspections. So he just did a report where two really interesting things. One, there was no shingles on the ridge cap on the top of the roof. It just stopped. It was missing. Another part of that same new construction home was there was, I think, 14 different outlets on one light switch. It was a fan in a room. It was a hallway light. It was outlets. Silly things like that are just crazy. How about my customer that bought about 17 years ago, a new construction home out west, and the air conditioning was put in backwards? Like, how do you not know what you guys are doing here? Like, nobody caught this? As a consumer, we're not going to know this. We only see the home as a realtor. We see what we can and what we know. We don't know things behind the scenes. Yes, I have a little a plug that'll tell me if something's maybe reverse polarity and such. But that's not something you're seeing in the 10 or 15 or 20 minutes in the home that you're seeing. And sometimes you don't have time for a second look before you're going under contract. So that inspection period is very important to have, maybe the 7 days or whatever days you negotiate, to make sure and do your due diligence and check in and check the permits if there are any. See, was this a permitted work, or did Joe Schmo do it himself? And gosh only knows how good it is. Doesn't mean everything has to have a permit, but if it's a big concern, it was a big renovation, you might want to kind of look for those. It might make you feel a little better. So if you're not familiar, again, we always ask to have an inspection. I don't care if it's a new home or not. And even if you have new construction, and let's say the contractor doesn't allow you to open the electrical panel, doesn't allow you on the roof, then guess what? You are very, very strongly suggested to have that home inspector come within the first year of owning. Someone just bought 2 months, I think it was 2 weeks later, he came and that's when he found the ridge missing, the ridge cap. So little things like that, you definitely want to do that while you're within your warranty period within a year. But I'm sure Riccardo can maybe help us a little more with the new construction.
My God, it's impressive.
Yes.
Riccardo.
Yes, I can share with you an experience to the other side. So when an American buyer wants to buy a property in Italy, so he asked me about the inspection, of course. So I called the Italian agent. They told me, what inspection? What is inspection? So that's the role of the CIPS, is to try to find the perfect environment between two different cultures. And I explain everything to the Italian side. And they say, we don't have the home inspector. Okay, let's find a solution, because in the USA, it's kind of mandatory to have an inspection, especially with old house. And, in Italy, they are very old. So we speak 2 centuries ago sometimes. So we found a solution we call a geometra, and we do a perizia, so a kind of work in front of the tribunal where the inspector, let's call inspector, a different professional figure, can go to the property and check everything like it's done in the US. So this is funny. The other thing, the different culture, when I was selling a business here, it was Italian owned, and I introduced to the seller, the Italian seller, the due diligence. Say, why? What's the due diligence? I say, okay, they have to check. But they cannot enter in my business. Of course. How can we do the due diligence without entering inside? The famous Italian privacy. You say, okay, we sign an NDA. We have everything on the agreement. So it's funny. I mean, that sometimes we have to deal with different culture about two practices like home inspection and due diligence, especially for business or investing properties.
Okay, Venus, Riccardo, thanks a lot.
My
Grazie mille.
pleasure.
Grazie
Thank
mille.
you.
Okay. See you in the USA next November. Of course, we'll keep in contact. Alice?
Yeah, of course, it was really good this first episode of this and our new podcast or new type of record with these American realtors, American and Italian realtors as well. And nothing. I think that's all.
Okay.
We will meet for sure in New Orleans, I reckon.
In Miami before.
Miami before.
Okay.
And I was just thinking about something was telling us Riccardo before, because it happens to us the same in last September when we were at the CPIS course, and one of our colleague was so angry with the Italian due diligence because she told us that she cannot understand nothing, and this is why after 2 months of working, we came in Houston with ItalyReferrals GPT and ItalyReferrals plan. That it's like, of course, an AI assistant that every realtors could assess, and you can also see the website that it's on our recording. And
for the podcast,
yeah, www.italyreferrals.it. And yeah, of course, this could help American realtors in understand a little bit better what it's for a buyer to buy in Italy. So this is the same we thought, and Riccardo, I'm happy that he told us this story, because it's always the same story about that.
It is.
We Italians are quite complicated, and being trustful with some colleague from abroad is very, very important. I think it's not nice to sell an home and after some weeks, after some months, you get a phone call. Why did you send me that house? We are not that kind of realtors. So, Riccardo, I think that your experience and your background as a lawyer in the USA, now you are a realtor, is very, very, very interesting because we think that people that start working as a real estate agent in the USA and they come from Italy, especially Rome and Milan, that are the most important market in Italy. I think it's challenging. It's challenging.
Yes.
Every Italian realtor we know a few. Okay, they are top producer and they are very, very focused on customer satisfaction. It's very important to improve our way of working. So I think the experience you are having in USA will be as an example to other real estate agents that might wish to come USA, start working as a real estate agent. What do you think about it?
Yes. I confirm. I confirm what you're saying, and I mean, I think it's a rule for everyone. Don't think you know everything and start to improve yourself every single day. You can start improving, and you are going to check the result after every sale, after every meeting, after every contact with customer and client.
Wait. So, Venus, you want to say something more?
So I was going to say, I have Italian customers that they've all become family. I break bread. They would make me lunch for years when they're in town here and there. And I sold to. So I sold him 2 duplexes. Then I sold him a house. Then I sold his brother's, condo. Then I sold him a different condo. Then the brother bought a house, and I'm still friends to them this day. And this is over like 12 years. So to me, and I don't know, maybe just because it's my background, I'm a descendant of that. I love working with the Italians because they are they're trustworthy of me. Like, they are loyal to us, or at least not that others aren't, but it's so nice that it's like, wow, you appreciate, you understand that we're all here to do the best for you. And when they get it, when a customer gets it, regardless of the background, when they get it, it's a wonderful feeling, because every day, I have posted to my office here, a letter saying, hey, thank you for doing what must have been the hardest deal in history. You're a superhero. And I tape that to my desk to remind me this is why I do what I do. I made a change in someone's life. They appreciated me. And if you appreciate me, it goes, endless. So yes, very appreciative.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you so much. So this first episode of Real Estate Dreams, ItalyReferrals connects with Florida, comes to an end now. So thank you again, Venus. Thank you again, Riccardo.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And see you next time. Ciao. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.
Looking forward to breaking bread with you in New Orleans.
Yeah, of course.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.